Hello, welcome back to We Are Eternal. This video is called the Sophia of Neogenesis, which that comes from the Gnostic text, the Sophia of Jesus Christ. And Sophia meaning wisdom in this case. Well, in every case. So this is going to be basically a collection of quotes that I have found that's really inspirational to me, and I'm going to expand on them a little bit. So, without further ado, let's get into it. The first quote comes from the Gospel of Philip, and it says, "Ignorance is the mother of all evil. Ignorance leads to death, because those who come from ignorance neither were nor will be. But those in the truth will be perfect when all truth is revealed." All the problems in this world can be traced back to ignorance. For example, the ever-moving forward momentum of industry and consumption is slowly destroying this planet. 100 years ago, we were ignorant to the effects that the Industrial Revolution had on the planet. All the burning of coal and fossil fuels and, everything, and all the consumption. We were not consciously aware of the damage that we were doing to the planet as a society. But fast forward to 2025, the ignorance is deliberate. It's willful ignorance. We know what we're doing to this planet as a society, but we continue to destroy the forests and burn the fossil fuels and just consume and litter and destroy and treat the oceans as our own personal toilets, and really just it's not good. But big business continues to press forward with this destructive habit because they cannot stand the idea of an interruption in their cash flow for the sake of doing something good for the planet. Another example of ignorance is this us versus them mentality. It's very destructive. It causes hate and war and destruction and death. Being ignorant of the fact that instead of hating and destroying our enemy, we could work together under a common cause and possibly turn this hellscape of a planet into a place where we can live and thrive and work together and build and grow as a global society. Every single person that you meet has something to teach you. You can learn something new from every single person that you meet. And that goes for any other society. Regardless of their belief, America can learn a lot from any other culture in the world. And we have a lot to learn. If we could only, as Americans, we should learn to embrace all the other cultures, not pretend to embrace other cultures. There's a song by Disturbed called "Another Way to Die," and it opens with these lyrics. "The indulgence of our lives has cast a shadow on the world. Our devotion to our appetite betrayed us all. In an apocalyptic plight, more destruction will unfold. Mother Earth will show her darker side and take her toll. Our devotion to our appetite has betrayed us all." That phrase speaks volumes. The next quote comes from Morgue, and it says, "Most people don't like freedom, because it carries with it responsibility and anxiety. They would rather look for external guidance, but we're divine. We're not here to be commanded by external forces. People say that they want freedom, but then they look outside of themselves for direction and validation. They want someone else to tell them how to think, how to act, what to buy, who to love, etc. It's very rare when somebody can actually make an independent thought without seeking validation from the crowd. Power self-projection is the root of this one. Independently manifesting one's will carries with it the risk of making a mistake or looking like a dumbass in front of a lot of people. And there's no scapegoat. There's no one else to blame whenever you fuck something up. There's no safety net. And that is a lot more than a lot of people can handle. The next quote is an excerpt from Morg's first book, Neogenesis, Dawn of the New Mind. And it reads, "If the very laws that govern our universe don't apply to its inception, then we're admitting a colossal blind spot in our comprehension. The fundamental law of conservation of energy, or the first law of thermodynamics, says that matter and energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Materialistic science says that the universe came from a big bang, which started from a singularity, but it cannot explain what or where that singularity came from. But whenever you realize that existence is an eternal mathematical structure of mind that fractured itself, then you realize it all becomes clear. You realize then that the laws that govern our universe also applies to its inception." Next up is Carl Jung. "Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by the integration of the contraries." Carl Jung was likely referring to the shadow self whenever he made this quote. But it could also be applied to the mirror self, or it could be applied to the destruction of the ego. It's a very versatile quote, and regardless of what you choose to apply it to, the fundamental idea remains the same. It reminds me of a song by Marilyn Manson called Dogma, where he says, "You cannot sedate all the things you hate." The battle between good and evil has been raging ever since man became cognitive enough to understand the concept of duality. Now, thousands of years later, we still haven't understood that evil will never stop coming, and good will never ultimately triumph. The only way to achieve unity is to merge the two concepts together as one. Good needs to embrace evil, and evil needs to embrace good. And we need to work together as a cohesive unit and move in the same direction. Do you want to learn in detail how to achieve all of that? Well, the answers lie within the knowledge system that is Neogenesis. The final quote comes from the Gnostic text, Reality of the Rulers. They threw human beings into a great distraction and into a life of toil. so that human beings might be occupied by worldly affairs and might not have the opportunity of being devoted to the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit refers to God, and God is inside of us all. God is us. Devotion to the Holy Spirit means doing inner work. This world is designed to keep people chasing money until they eventually die. Even people with more money than they can spend in a human lifetime still feel the need to chase even more and hoard even more money to themselves. It is a cancer of this planet, and it's going to lead to our destruction. Doing inner work and connecting with your unconscious, it doesn't pay the bills. And this world is going to ensure that it never does. And that is exactly why it is more important than ever to achieve all awareness and eventually hyper awareness. Not just you, but the entire human race. Every religion talks about escapism, how to transcend this world and escape it. But the only way you can possibly escape this world is to change it into something we want to escape to. Because energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Goes back to the law of thermodynamics. That includes your zeta. When your body dies, your zeta is not going to be transported to this magical world of perfectness if you follow the rules you are told to follow by your religious masters, or having a relationship with a God that can't logically exist isn't going to transport you to this magical kingdom. They're fooling themselves. And we've been repeating this same process. We've been stuck in this same cycle since the beginning of civilization. That's just a small handful of quotes that really resonates with me. And honestly, between Carl Jung and Nietzsche and Gnosticism and Morg and everything that's out there, I mean, you could make an entire YouTube channel devoted just to quotes. And there's a ton of knowledge out there. And you know what baffles me is the fact that, for example, mainstream Christianity and Islam and these mainstream religions, they only focus on their very narrow rules, their very narrow scope of existence. It's called the reality tunnel, and anything that falls outside of that reality tunnel is evil. It's bad, and it's going to lead to eternal torment. But now I'm going on a tangent. But yeah, that was the video, and thanks for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, which I think I've got some like and subscribe buttons somewhere around here. Yeah, there they are. All right, sweet. So, see you next time. And yeah, thanks for watching.